We'll begin this morning with a Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. Welcome to the January 2nd, 2025 meeting of the Board of County Commissioners for Shawnee County. My name is Kevin Cook. I serve as the chair this year. Sorry for sounding a little bit froggy. I've got a little bit of a virus, and so I'm wearing a mask just to offset and make sure I'm not spreading it to my commissioners. But joining
and your clerk
and
county councilor too.
But joining me this morning is Commissioner Aaron Mays. Good morning.
Morning.
Commissioner Bill Rippon. Morning. Our county councilor, Mr. Eckert.
Good morning.
And Ms. Beck. Good morning. Okay, now we are adding an item to the agenda. This will be Resolution 2025-1, and this will be F1 under Commission, and this will be a resolution to convert January 13th, 2025 work session into an action meeting commencing at 10 a.m. So that will be added to today's agenda for us to consider. So, Ms. Beck, with that, kick us off.
Okay, item 2, unfinished business. A, approval to award bid and subsequent execution of contract C451-2024 with Heartland Coca-Cola Bottling Company to be the exclusive beverage company for Shawnee County Parks and Recreation. The agreement will begin January 2025 and carry through the end of December 2027. Proceeds in the form of rebates and support will be deposited into the Shawnee County Parks and Recreation Building Maintenance Fund.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tim Laurent, Parks and Recreation Department. So, yes, we'd like to renew our agreement with Coca-Cola to be our beverage supplier for all of our locations. We've poured over these numbers pretty extensively over the last week or two. Jennifer Sauer's been involved. We feel comfortable with the terms and with the structure of the contract, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Questions from the commission?
You feel like there's some improvements from the last contract?
Well, I think that, I will tell you, yes, I do think there are some improvements from between this one and the last contract. I believe the last one was 4 years, and one of those years we get an annual payment from Coca-Cola in the amount of $20,000. We only got that for 3 years out of the 4 last year. We'll get it for all 3 years of this term. So that's an improvement. And then overall from a cost structure, when you compare the two proposals that we had, we save we think roughly about $30,000 in the cost of product. So we think it's a good deal for the county.
I know that I've had a number of questions over the review of this contract, but I think you've answered those. Any other questions? All right. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Mays, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item 3, consent agenda.
There's one item on the consent agenda. Are there any questions or is there a motion?
I would move that we approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Mays. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item 4, new business. A, County Clerk number 1, consider all voucher payments.
This morning, we have vouchers totaling $416,259.31. 2 items of note. One is for $81,267 to AFCO LLC. That's under the Gage Park sales tax, and that is for the purchase of the playground equipment, some of it. And then $105,729 to Miles Automotive. That's under the sheriff, and that's for the purchase of 3 new SUVs. I don't have any questions or concerns with this, and I've moved for approval.
I'll second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Mays, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. Our next item.
There are no correction orders today.
All right.
Item B, information technology number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C1-2025 for the renewal of KnowBe4 through CDWG for the amount of $22,568, which is contained in the 2025 information technology budget.
Morning, Commissioners. Mark Price, Information Technology. This is just the renewal of our KnowBe4 security training. This goes out to all county employees and helps make them informed and aware of threats that are being put out through the computer world, and I know, Commissioner Cook, you really like the tests and the emails they do send out.
If you don't take your test, you get locked out, so make
Yeah.
sure you take your tests.
Yeah,
So,
been there, done that. So I would move for approval.
motion to approve by Commissioner Mays, all second. So, motion made by Commissioner Mays, second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item B2, consider approval for the renewal of a security monitoring platform through the State of Kansas contract pricing at a cost of $132,061.75 with funding from the 2025 Information Technology budget.
Good morning, Commissioners. Mark Price again. This is just the renewal of a security software we have on all county computers and servers. It does act as a line of defense against bad actors. One thing that we're doing with this that costs a little bit more is it is monitored 24/7, 365, and the company has the ability to actually shut down and isolate computers if they get infected. So, like over the last few weeks where you've had holidays and times where we're not on the clock and working at the office, if something would have happened, they would have been able to take the computers offline, isolate them, remediate, and inform us of what happened to keep us protected and safe.
Questions? I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0.
Thank you.
Our next item.
Item C, solid waste. Number 1, consider approval of request to issue a request for quotations for solid waste commercial containers with funding from the solid waste collections operational budget.
Good morning, Commissioners. Bill Sutton, Shawnee County Solid Waste. These next two agenda items kind of go hand in hand, but what these are is we're kind of getting ahead of the game, and we're asking to go out for bid for commercial containers. Should there be a need that arises that we have to put a number out there on the street. We have quite a few in inventory right now, but we just want to get ahead of the game should we need this. So this is for my commercial containers, also known as dumpsters, for our various sizes. For your questions.
Okay. Questions?
No. I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Mays. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item C2, consider approval of request to issue a request for quotations for solid waste industrial containers with funding from the solid waste collections operational budget.
Bill Sutton, Shawnee County Solid Waste. This, we're asking that for quotations for our industrial containers, also known as roll-off boxes, from 10 yards all the way up to our 40-yard sizes. So subject to your questions, gentlemen.
Questions?
No. I'd move for approval.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Mays. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. Thank you. Our next item.
Item D, Public Works. Number 1, consider approval of the project budget and a request to solicit construction bids for a road improvement project on Northwest 46th Street between Northwest Fielding and Northwest Rochester Roads. This project's construction will be funded using proceeds from the half-cent 2017 to 2031 countywide retailer sales tax program.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kurt Niehaus, Director of Public Works. It's that time where we want to get a project, a sales tax project, in this case, under construction. Plans are complete, and we're preparing for a bid letting. At the present time, the bid letting is scheduled for February 12th. That is subject to change, and work would begin in early to mid-March. This project goes from Fielding, which is not far from US 75, to Rochester Road. The intersections at Rochester Road are not included because we've already improved that intersection. And we plan to build the project in 4 phases. First phase, we're going to build a roundabout at the church, Green Hills Road. It's the west intersection where the lake goes north from 46th Street. Phase 2, we'll work between the Green Hills Road, the roundabout, and a bridge over Half Day Creek. And under those first 2 phases, we will be closing the road to through traffic. And then phase 3 and 4, which takes on the remainder of the project length, we will build that under traffic. We anticipate a 2-year construction. And with that, I look forward to your questions.
The funding source for this?
100% sales tax. We have a project budget right now of $16 million. As you know, we are somewhat conservative with our project budgets. When the sales tax program was put together, this project was estimated at $9.3 million,
So it's nearly doubled.
nearly double. And we haven't done, you know, it's not like we've put together a project with extravagance. We have some improvements to the intersections. They're not major improvements. The main thing is we're widening the roadway. We're adding that center turn lane. There will be a short segment of road that will remain at 2 lanes, and that's the deep fill area that you might be familiar with. It's just west of Rochester Road. It would have been way too expensive to expand the embankment out and put a 3-lane road on that section. But everything else will be 3 lanes. I think it'll be a great improvement. For the community, it'll be a wonderful improvement because on the north side, we'll have a 10-foot multi-use path, and on the south side, we'll have a 5-foot sidewalk. So with that, again, I think it's a great project and look forward to your questions.
Commissioner Rippon?
Yeah, at Rochester Road, will that intersection there be part of the project at Rochester?
No, it's already been improved. It's a
Right.
roundabout, so we'll stop right at the approach to that roundabout.
Okay. And then our future plans for Rochester Road, that,
We have an RFQ out.
okay,
I hope to have a consultant on board by mid-March,
okay,
and we'll start work on that project.
all right. No other questions.
All right. With that, I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next item.
Item E, Health Department, number 1, approval to enter into a collaborative agreement between the United Way of Caw Valley and Shawnee County Health Department Nurse Family Partnership Program for state fiscal year 2026. This agreement is required to apply for the Collaborative Early Childhood Block Grant. There is a required 15% match, excuse me, for the NFP budget portion. The grant runs from July 1 of 2025 to June 30 of 2026.
Good morning, Commissioners. Teresa Fisher, Director of the Health Department. This is a new process this year. This grant, the Early Childhood Block Grant, is not a new grant. This is one of the grants that funds our Nurse Family Partnership Program. However, this collaborative agreement is new. This year, the state is requiring that each partner sign this. We will, should we receive this grant, we will bring it back. United Way of Caw Valley has been the fiscal agent, but there is an agreement that we must sign, and then there is also a required 15% match, which is new this year. It has not been in existence since 2019. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have about this.
Questions?
No? I'm good.
Is there a motion?
I'll move for approval.
I'll second. Motion for approval by Commissioner Mays, second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. Thank you, Teresa. Our next item.
Okay, item F, County Commission, number 1, consider resolution number 2025-1, a resolution converting the January 13th, 2025 work session into an action meeting.
The reason for this is usually Mondays are a work session, but Monday's going to be a little bit packed on January the 13th. The plan at this time is for the swearing-in ceremonies to begin, I believe, at 8:30 on January the 13th. Those are going to be in room 320 of the Shawnee County Courthouse. And after the swearing-in ceremonies, then we would have a action meeting at 10 o'clock here in Chambers. And then after that, we would then go into work session where we recognize our long-term employees starting at 11 o'clock. So the work session will be by separate resolution. So January 13th, you're going to have a little bit of everything. Swearing in, action meeting, and work session. So in order for us to remain in compliance with all of our rules and notices, this resolution is necessary. Are there any questions?
No, I'll move for approval.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Mays,
Second.
second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item 5, public comment.
We do have one individual signed up for public comment, Mr. Henry McClure.
Hey, thank you for that. That's, makes a guy focus. Henry McClure, Shawnee County, Kansas. I was watching the last JETO meeting, and I've never seen anything more egregious for an abuse of tax dollars. As you just heard the other day, or just moments ago, I mean, the cost of construction is doubling. The expenses, when the economic development thing was approved, it was originally for road projects, and the intent of that money was to broaden the tax base and to increase the population. And since the inception of this project, it hasn't done any of that. Now, I did notice that Molly mentioned that she had $2.5 million in overhead, which I think is 3.5. Well, let's quit splitting hairs. You've got a $2.5 million budget to give away another $2.5 million. But what you've done now, and even your infamous county councilor the other day said, you know, that if we don't finish these road projects, the voters are going to get mad. But I think what the voters, it's just going to take a little longer time to expose, to get people to believe, a loose cannon like myself, that what I'm saying is true. Because you're not using these funds right. You're going to enter into a lease on a building, which, by the way, that AT&T building, it owes you taxes. It wasn't current with its taxes. So let's start paying attention to the details. But the details of this, when you've got this economic development money, there's a lot of disgruntled people that have tried to come forward and get use of this money that actually might do the community good. It actually might be for infrastructure. It actually might broaden the tax base through retail and retail tax and property tax. And who knows, maybe some of those deals might have broadened our population. Ooh, coming down to the end. But to sign a lease and give a guy $2 million or more on one building, man, you're abusing this money. This is total abuse of what the intention of the voters wanted in that sales tax in the beginning. So that's why we've really got to encourage the voters to vote no when this, and just let this sunset. Giving one guy $2.5 million for one building, signing a 10-year lease, and you don't even have any tenants. That's wrong. Save you some time. Thank you.
Are there any other persons wishing to speak for public comment this morning? Our next item.
Item 6, Administrative Communications.
This is an opportunity for any department head or employee to address the commission on any item.
Can you note that Bill Sutton was nice and let me go before him, please?
I know, it's really unusual, too.
Yes, it is. Nelson Castile Emergency Management. We're going to be having our first winter storm of the season coming up here. We're currently in a winter storm watch that's under the Be Prepared area. So folks out there, be prepared. It looks like maybe 3 to 7 inches. But with that 3 to 7 inches, we could have some 35-mile-per-hour gusty winds, which means we'll have blowing snow, which is going to make travel and all those things that we like to do a little bit more difficult. So please make sure you have at least 2 sources of information available to you. Be paying attention if you're going to travel, work through your winter plan, be sure you're communicating where you go, and then make sure that you got your winter kit in your car ready to go. And like Director Niehaus, and several of us say, if you don't have to travel, don't do it. Always think about that. Helps those folks out there on the road get them clear, plus keeps emergency services from having to come out there. So stand for any questions you might have.
Questions? All right. Thank you. Thank you, Nelson.
Good morning, Commissioners. Bill Sutton, Shawnee County Solid Waste. Just dovetailing off of Nelson there, should we have a weather closure on Sunday, we'll obviously be adjusting our schedule and how that unfolds. We'll just see how long we're closed for. But I want to remind everybody, as they know, just because you're on the south end of the county does not necessarily reflect what's going on at the north end of the county. So should the landfill close because of significant weather up there, we have to do what the landfill does. So if the landfill closes, we will obviously close as well. So follow my Facebook page, and obviously if we do close, I will let our media partners know as well what we have going on.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. Angela Lewis, Director of Administrative Services. Today, your pay stubs are available for PP1. It's very important that you check your deductions and make sure they're all correct. It's also a good time to check your address as we're in a new year and W-2s will be coming out soon. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
No.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you.
I don't often get up here, so I figured I'd jump up here. With the possibility of winter closure, if you have work from home people who are county employees who have laptops that they have not used for a while, I would really recommend today testing those out. We've got a nice IT staff, but if we get a bunch of calls tomorrow afternoon, we will not be able to get everyone fixed. So please check your work from home equipment today and reach out to my office as soon as possible. Thank you.
All right. Any additional administrative communications? Commissioner Riplon?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Commissioner Mays?
Happy New Year as well.
And I'll echo the third. So, Ms. Beck?
Okay, item 7, executive session.
There's not a need for an executive session. Before we adjourn, though, we are keeping aware and looking at our January the 9th, what may happen with recognition. Mr. Eckert, do we know anything further from the city?
The city is going to be open that day.
Okay. So we will be open then as well for our meeting on the 9th. There is no work session on Monday, though, so we'll see you all back here next Thursday.